Hello, welcome to round 18, Sao Paulo, Brazil. I'm a little bit sick today, so I might lose my voice here and there. We're on qualifying, so dry qualifying and a pretty high chance for rain in the race. As for why is there no US Grand Prix, well, it was a full wet race and the car was terrible, so I quit out of the Grand Prix. There was no point. There's the Ferrari of Alonso getting out of the way as at the purple first sector time. Qualifying was very tight. I had to go out again. It was like pretty much next to nothing in it at the moment. Going onto this short, twisty, awesome little track here. And I'm hoping this time out, though, if the rain comes, I will have a decent car. There's decent levels of grip instead of having no grip. It's usually the rear that's the problem, not necessarily the front. Braking is always good, it's just the rear traction during the wet, which is seems to disappear for me. There's a little glitch in the video during my qualifying lap, of course. The game decided to throw me to the desktop for good measure. But it shouldn't matter, I was 7/10 up on my own time, was still in first place. And looking at improvements, yes, we have improved our time with a 1:14.009. If I'm seeing correctly, it's a bit hard to see. There you go. About 4/10 ahead of Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton in third, Alonso fourth, Vettel fifth, Jensen in eighth. So good job for my teammate. He's 1.5 seconds slower than me. Significant pace difference. Little celebration there. Whoop-de-doo. McLaren Mercedes. I probably definitely will be leaving that team. Just seeing how far I can get and what good a car I can achieve, and maybe I will go to what's it called? Legend AI. There you go. So as you can see, for the race, clouds are a little bit darker. 67% race chance of rain, so it will definitely rain. Probably around the midway point on to be expected. So I'm opting to get my option sets out of the way, get a much pace advantage before the rain comes in. The tire lasts pretty long anyway. Park firmware was off, I was actually checking, so I didn't put it back to what it was. And here we go, going through the rest of the grid. It's Perez in 11th. Ricardo, the Red Bull driver, my rival, is in 12th place. Then it's Kvyat, Gutierrez, Maldonado, Verne, Bianchi in 17th, Chilton in 18th, and Grosjean and Sutil in 19th and 20th. So they had a terrible qualifying by the looks of it. Which is all just, you know, probably good news for us. And here we are, getting ready to be seated. We'll seat our car on the front of the grid. An uphill start, always a bit tricky. Always have to try and keep the wheel spin down. It's an endless struggle for me in the game. Hopefully with F1 2015, where the Pirelli tires have more rear traction, with the structure at the rear, should have a bit of an easier time driving those cars. Well, we'll see what that game will bring us. Going with the throttle, not fully pushing it down. Shifting to second early. Rosberg delivering me pretty good start. No one is really outgunning me at the line that much. Keeping a wider line, going around Rosberg into the center S's. A little bit of a wobble. And then I'll slowly let it run wide, touch a bit of the curb. No, and we're off and away for 36 laps in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I need to make as much of a difference in the opening stages as I can before the rain comes, because I will undoubtedly lose time. At least that was my thoughts in the history of any Rain Grand Prix, as you may have seen in this race in the season, which would be, I think the only one that properly showed up was Hockenheim, how bad my car gets. It's like nearly undrivable, keeping the rear in check. Singapore was a disaster, was good in the dry, then the wet came in and the car was just nowhere. Parked into the wall. US Grand Prix, the one before this one, same deal. Just a lack of grip. So here we go. About to have one lap done, making sure to keep one side of the car on the track, just to be nice. And how much of a gap have we made? Quite a bit, 3 seconds. There you go. Vettel is on the back of Rosberg at this point in time. Hamilton in 4th, Ricciardo up to 7th already. A very, very good start for him. And we're moving on here into lap 3. 2.8 seconds is the gap, not really gaining. Rosberg sets a 1:16.064, the fastest lap, slightly quicker than me by around a 10th. And I'm immediately almost 2/10 quicker in the first sector, so I'm trying to respond. Here we go, onto the straight, end of the same lap, lap 3, 6/10 quicker than my previous, 3.3, I'm extending the gap again. Lewis Hamilton has taken 3rd place. Now on the chase for Nico Rosberg. Of course, he needs to make sure he passes his teammate if he wants to have a chance at the World Championship. I move front to a 1:15.345, 8/10 quicker than the previous lap. Ricciardo now up to 4th. Amazing stuff from my rival. I guess I am really spurring him on there. 3.7 seconds the gap now. Lewis, you can see Lewis Hamilton is getting closer and closer to Rosberg. 3.6, 0.2 between those two boys behind me. Is Lewis gonna make the pass? Yes, he has. Lewis Hamilton is now in 2nd place, which is good for his championship chances in Abu Dhabi. There will be double points, and the Red Championship is still open. So, lap 9, there was rain projected. You didn't hear the radio message, but I decided to pit a little earlier than planned. 2 laps earlier than planned, just about. So the other guys passed me, dropping down the order a little bit. Not necessarily worried about that. Hopefully I can get myself into a gap. There's cars coming, so it's gonna be close. Might at least have one car in front of me. That's Bottas. Seems like I'm going to be slotting in behind Bottas. There he is. There you see the white Williams on the right of me. Get past him as quickly as I can, of course, not losing time and right up his gearbox. Out braking very late, not even locking the tires. Very good job. Pass done into 4th, and now it's time to get us to put the quick laps in. I'm pre-selecting intermediate tires. I'll not be stopping for another option yet. Pretty damn sure of it. Improving the fastest lap to 1:14.487. Lewis Hamilton, I think, has pitted because it's now Ricciardo in 2nd, and I believe it's Rosberg in front of him in 1st. And then a lap later, you can see the blue dot in the pit lane now, stopping for his box, back to 1st. 8/10 slower than my previous lap, so not really being very consistent here today. So once the thingy settles down, the correct order should be shown. There we go, it's Hamilton again in front of Rosberg. And I think we can already see raindrops on screen. No? That's hard to tell on my preview window. There's Max Chilton all the way in the back, lap 13, and he's getting lapped already. Bit tricky place to pass him, but I'm get it done. Time to use a bit on my fuel. Ericsson again in this little annoying section. There's just about enough room I squeeze in, but this is not helping me at all. There we go. There we see raindrops in the middle sector of this Grand Prix. It's starting to rain. Definitely now. Maybe switch to the tire temp screen to keep that in order. There's Gutierrez being a pain in the ass to pass as well. Making me pass on the outside 1.9 seconds slower than the previous lap. Yeah, that's not working, is it? I'm gonna move ahead now to lap 17. Again, I keep encountering him in the worst possible section there, middle sector, that corner, whatever. Not in the straight, that was Maldonado. So unlucky there, and it's only costing me time. Let's see, 5.8 now, the gap. Lost a bit again. I'm at 19, 4.7 seconds is now the gap. Too well. Again, 1.6 seconds slower. We're getting to the point where we might have to pit. I think so. People are just going into the box. There you go. Ricciardo's into the box. I think Rosberg went along with Hamilton to pit. He's now behind Ricciardo, so that's probably what happened since he had to wait. And a lap later now, going to lean mix. As you can see, the tires on the straights very, very cool on the temperature, but they held up pretty damn well in the damp conditions. But now it is time to pit. I really ram up almost into the back of the gate room as I go through the box. It would have been actually pretty bad if I made contact him. It's pretty crowded in the pit lane, putting on the green marked intermediate tires. Don't have to deal with the gate room, that's good for me. Toro Rosso in front, not sure. No, it's Lotus Grosjean. Initial reactions, traction doesn't look too bad. 7.3 seconds is the gap. Let's see if I can keep a good enough pace where I can hold on to this lead. Let's get a good result out of it today. Ricardo still in third, 6.3 seconds, sorry. So, losing out. So, not a good sign. Moving ahead, there's Vern. Ooh, bit tricky here. Not an annoying place to find him in the center S. 6.6. The 24 is now down to 5.9. And I'm playing around a little bit with the tire selection. Unsure on what to go for. Feel like I definitely have to pit, and the AI actually will pit before me. There you go, you see Hamilton in the pit box, Ricciardo goes to second, Rosberg goes to third, and I pass somebody coming out pit lane, lap 29. Ricciardo is in the box now as well, if I am not mistaken. Yes, I believe so. So Hamilton comes back into second place. I'm slipping and sliding around. It's probably down the box. There you have to go down the second gear to keep the car. There we go, left 29. Going for it. Going for another set of inters. Lewis Hamilton 18 seconds behind. Pit stop is not very long here, but it's going to be very close to getting out in front of him. I may have stayed out too long. Might have been wise to get in earlier to defend myself from Hamilton in a bit better way. There you go, he's going into the center S at the moment. I think I have the advantage. They're going to be very close. Taking maximum risk through here, high mixing it out of there. There you go, see me in the right mirror, I'm just ahead in front. But I lost a lot of time. Only 7/10 the gap. 6 laps to go. It's going to be a very, very close race towards the end here. Pre-selected wet tyres. It was going to rain heavier just before the end. I might have to box before the race, or pit, really box, yeah, pit, before the end of the race to switch tyres. Struggling for traction, having to play with the wheel to keep it in check. Managing alright, so this is what I like to be able to do. Now, I'm not that much slower than them. I am a bit slower, but it's drivable. Another Grand Prix like in Hockenheim would be the best example of that. It's not drivable, so this is fun. This is challenging. This is doable. I don't feel frustrated. I feel like I'm still in good control over the car, while the conditions are still tricky. Lap 33, Hamilton is right up my box. I'm not quite sure what to do. I'm very late calling to go into the box, making a gamble. Not sure I can keep him behind me, but I felt like I was struggling too much going for a set of wet weather tyres. It's going to be interesting to see. I was going slower every lap, obviously. Is it possible that the AI is not going to pit anymore? We'll see what happens. I'm go down the 4th. I'm hoping to stay ahead of... No, 3rd. Passing Ricciardo on grip already. I think when we see him in the mirrors, that is Ricciardo back there. So I passed him already. 1.3 seconds. Rosberg is only 3.1 seconds ahead. It feels very good through the first corner. That's always a good feeling when you know you've made the right call, when the car steers in. You get good traction off the corner when you put the power down. So it feels, that felt nice. So let's stay with this. Lap 34, 2 laps to go, more or less. Oh, 2.5 laps to go. We're going to stay with it. I'm not going to cut anything out of it anymore. There's Nico Rosberg. Very slow. I've made the right call. I know it. Still a bit tricky through some of the corners, obviously. But I'm significantly quicker. I'm better on traction than the AI, which means I definitely made the right call. Going for a wider line, much better acceleration, and it's passed down. I go to the inside a little bit to defend. Don't really need to. It's an easy pass. Almost brake too late. Go very wide on entry, keeping the car in check, but Rosberg cannot do anything since he doesn't have the grip. Now, Lewis Hamilton, 11 seconds ahead, 2 laps to go. Can I catch him? It's gonna be very, very close. 9.6 seconds, 2 seconds alone in that first sector. It might just be able to do it. I might be able to do it. I'm a bit tight on fuel at the moment, and I'm at -1 lap. I think at this stage there's Gutierrez and Kvyat. Not helping me at the moment. Not helping me. I want them to get out of the way as quickly as I can. They're holding me up. They're slowing down. They're going very aggressive on the braking. Sliding a little bit, keeping it under control. We go down the hill again. Awesome little corner. Tricky in the wet, as you see. Having to correct 6.1 seconds. Still gaining on him massively, but it's 1 lap to go. Can I catch him before the end of the race? By the time we reduce this, it should be possible. We've almost closed the gap. Over half the gap it was 11. It's down to 6. What is on the start finish line? It's 4.8. We should be able to catch him. Can we find a gap through? It should be possible. If I get in behind him, even if on the last straight, I should have the traction over him to be able to take the win. Heart's pounding at the moment. I've flown down the lower. It's optimal, so I'm safe for fuel. That's another load off the chest. I can focus on the wheel. I'm keeping it on lean. I don't necessarily feel like I need the extra power. I got to win it. I have to win it on grip anyway. And I think that is Lewis Hamilton already. He's struggling for grip. There you go. Ooh, and I almost break into the back of him. He goes a little bit wide. I might have touched him a little bit, and I sneak inside. And there's nothing that Lewis Hamilton can do to defend his first position. He doesn't have the grip. I pretty much think I'm the only guy who pitted 4 wet white tyres at the end, and it was definitely the right call to make. I'm just taking a little bit easy now. Oh, going a little bit wide though, as I'm trying to take it easy onto the straight. No rush. There you go. How much I've caught him or extended the gap in that one little bit alone. 3.4 seconds. There's nothing you can do, and it's a surprise victory in the wet for myself against the cars. I'm shaking the wheel, and there you go. Great race, great win, and we're going with our heads up high to the final race in Abu Dhabi. There you go, here's the race results. Again, an achievement. I can't actually read it on my preview winner what it was. 25 points for me, 6.8 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Nico Rosberg is in third, getting 15 points. Daniel Ricciardo, my rival, 12 points in the fourth place. A very good race for him, starting in 12th. Then it's Fernando. Nico Hülkenberg passed Valtteri Bottas at some point, so he's in 6th. Valtteri 7th. Kimi 8th. Jensen made it back up into 9th after a terrible start. He was well out. Wow, excuse me for that one. Was well out of the points after the start, but he recovered himself quite well. Vettel, not so much. He dropped down from 5th down into 12th place. And down we go the grid. Max Chilton closing it off. So there is now, I think, if I'm reading it correctly, 11 points difference between me and Daniel. That's doable, especially with double points. So let's see if I can snatch away 4th place from him. Vettel is probably too far out. Unless he doesn't score any points, I finish like 2nd or 1st or something. That will be something. But very good in the championship point. Jensen in 12th, 39 points. So he's at least secure, but yeah, not good enough for the top 10. Felipe Massa is in 11th, 10 points ahead. And I don't really see that changing. 4th in the constructors. Pretty secure. Don't think we are going to be able to snatch Ferrari's 3rd place. There you go, race victory, and one more race to go, racing for double points in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for watching, see you guys next time.